Montessori is the most sustainable and satisfying way to learn. It has weathered a century of societal change where almost nothing else in Western industrial societies has remained true to its core. Authentic Montessori classrooms are peaceful, respectful, cooperative, and purposeful environments that for over 100 years have been oases for children, parents, and teachers in an otherwise mostly turbulent and unfriendly educational landscape. What gives Montessori its endurance? This brilliantly designed system combines parts, each of which serve the natural needs of children, into a sturdy whole which can be replicated in any language or culture with carefully trained teachers. The central feature of the Montessori system, the element which energizes all the others, is the 3-year multi-age classroom structure. In each cycle, children get the opportunity to be youngest, the awestruck follower, middle child, the observant and sometimes overconfident apprentice, then the eldest, the experienced and nurturing leader. By mimicking these familiar sibling relationships, the 3-year age grouping relieves children from the unnatural expectation that they should be ready to learn the same things at the same time as every other child their age. The 3-year grouping also adds stability to a classroom by preserving the institutional memory of traditions, norms, and rituals in the 2/3 of students who return for their 2nd or 3rd year. And it frees teachers from the arduous task of getting to know a whole classroom of students again each fall. Classroom management in a multi-age classroom is shared by older students who hold the classroom's institutional memory. Just as the sun powers the solar system, the 3-year age grouping energizes 3 other planetary systems, all of which make it possible for teachers to follow the child. The first of these is choice, the engine of motivation. A calm and centered child is in a better position to know what he or she needs to be working on at any particular moment than anybody else, including a teacher who may be responsible for a couple of dozen other children. Like adults, children are far more likely to invest themselves in an activity if they have had some say in choosing it. However, meaningful individual choice over what, with whom, and where they work is only possible during an uninterrupted work period where the teacher is freed from having to manage the classroom and can move around to help individual children who get stuck. When children are absorbed in choosing their own activities, the teacher can observe students and guide them towards follow-up activities that suit their individual needs. When children don't have to worry about keeping up with their peers or conforming to the teacher's schedule, they can construct their own understandings at their own pace using concrete experiences and integrated subject matter. Personal connection is the second element of the Montessori classroom that is energized by the multi-age structure. Single-age classrooms foster antipathy between students as a group and their teacher, because the students generally get to know one another as they progress through grade levels better than they get to know each year's teacher. In Montessori classrooms, students build strong bonds of trust with teachers over 3 or more years. Because they know the personalities of their returning students well, it's easier for Montessori teachers to know which impressionistic stories will best capture their imaginations and motivate them to delve further into a concept. This trust also makes possible the freedom of movement and association that, in a non-Montessori classroom, might promote chaos and undermine accountability. The multi-age environment also promotes comfort with diversity. Research has shown that where children find themselves in groups that are diverse in terms of age and other characteristics, and age is often the first thing children want to know about each other, there's a natural tendency for them to look for things they have in common. In homogeneous groupings, children tend to look for ways they are different, for ways that make them stand out. Strong bonds of personal connection among students and between students and their teacher make it safer for children to risk making mistakes. Crude assessment instruments, such as standardized tests, are less necessary because children are known, so meaningful progress over time can be demonstrated with authentic assessments, and because familiarity and trust are greater between teacher and parents too. Collaborative learning is the third element enabled by the 3-year grouping. Discussion among same-age peers is a valuable form of collaboration in traditional classrooms, but collaboration between students with the same level of familiarity with a new concept is probably not the most beneficial form. Students in a multi-age Montessori classroom choose whether they will engage in activities on their own, with a peer, or with a group. Some individuals learn better on their own, but students may seek out others for companionship or for the support of someone more experienced, or they might offer support to a less experienced child for the pleasure of testing a skill they've recently mastered. Working with a child of a different age may imply a mentoring relationship, or it may be a collaboration of equals, because children don't all develop at the same pace. When freedom of association and movement are normal in a classroom and collaboration is a choice, children come to understand that people with strengths in one area aren't necessarily as talented in all areas. They also learn that everyone in the room, adults included, can be both student and teacher. Having so much learning take place between children in a multi-age classroom forces Montessori teachers to become less rigid about what children should be learning at particular ages, and to be prepared to allow children to explore personal interests when the joy of discovery sweeps over them. Authentic Montessori classrooms differ because they are influenced by the personalities and experience of their teachers, by the thoughtful design and layout of the materials and the environment, and by the preparation of their students. What makes them hum to the same tune the world over is this structure that ensures that children are treated with respect. These learning environments are an exquisite vision that have to be seen to be believed.